If you've ever sat in a creative kickoff and watched 4 senior people re-explain what the brief was supposed to say, you already know the cost. Your team doesn't need new tools. Your team doesn't need another project tracker. Your team needs a brief that does its job. I'm Asher. You're listening to Content is Currency from Table 8. And over the next 8 minutes, we're going to fix the most common cause of content delays in enterprise teams, the bloated brief. By the end, you'll have a 4-field brief that gets creative shipping the same day, a clear rule for keeping it that short, and the exact sentence to use the next time someone tries to add a 5th field. No new software, no new meetings, just a sharper page. Let's go. Run a stopwatch on your last 3 creative kickoffs. How long until the producer asks, wait, who is this actually for? In most enterprise teams, that question gets asked 30 minutes into a 60-minute meeting, which means the brief, the document the meeting was supposed to discuss, didn't answer it. So the meeting becomes the brief, and the brief becomes a record of meeting decisions instead of a starting point. Then the work goes off in a direction. Then it comes back. Then someone says, this isn't what we asked for. And another revision cycle begins. That's not creative friction. That's a brief failure. Every revision your team is doing this week was paid for by the page they were given. Pages are cheap. Revisions are not. Picture an architect arriving at a building site. The client hasn't told them who the house is for, how big the lot is, or when the family's moving in. Just a feeling, a mood board. The architect can sketch, but everything they sketch is a guess. So they build, then tear down, then build again, while the client says, no, more like this. Now picture the same architect arriving with 4 facts. Who lives here, the footprint, the budget, the move-in date, everything else they decide, the roof, the windows, the kitchen layout, those are theirs. They were hired for that. The brief in your hand should look more like the 4 facts and less like the mood board. That's the job of a brief. Briefs get bloated for the same reason approval queues do. Every new field was reasonable. Marketing wanted a tone field. Legal wanted a claims field. Brand wanted a tagline alignment field. The PM added a stakeholder list. The producer added an asset spec. None of those people were wrong, but none of them were writing a brief. They were each adding a checkpoint. After 18 months, you have a 14-field document that no 2 people fill out the same way, that no creative reads to the bottom, and that everyone defends because their box is in there. The bloat isn't bad intent. It's accumulated good intent that nobody pruned. The brief isn't broken because someone made it bad. It's broken because nobody made it small. 4 fields. That's the brief. Field 1, the one reader. Not a segment, not a buyer persona deck, the single human being you'd hand the finished asset to in a coffee shop. Field 2, what they need to do or feel after. 1 outcome, 1 verb. Field 3, the wall. The single thing this asset cannot do or cannot say. Not a wish list of nice to haves, the one fail condition that would make the work unusable. Field 4, the deadline. The hard, public, can't move it date. 4 fields. Every other input, tone, format, length, channel, tagline, references, examples, moves into a comment section that the creative reads optionally and edits freely. The brief is what's binding. The comments are what's helpful. Most teams collapse those 2 and pay the cost. Field 1 breaks every brief that has ever crossed your desk. Not because it's hard, but because it's specific. Marketing managers at mid-market SaaS companies is not a reader. That's a database query. The one reader is a name, a job title, and the moment they're seeing this asset, your producer should be able to picture them. Priya, head of growth at a 40-person fintech, scrolling LinkedIn on a Tuesday morning between meetings. Now the creative knows what tone is too corporate, what example will land, what reference she'll get. Pick the one. Yes, the asset will reach others, but it will reach them better if it was made for one. Vague audiences produce vague work. Specific audiences produce work that travels. Field 2 is what changes for that one reader after they see it, not drive awareness. A verb. Replies to the email. Books a demo. Forwards it to her CEO. If you can't write the verb, the asset doesn't have a job, and creative who don't know the job ship something that looks polished and does nothing. Field 3 is the wall. The single thing this asset cannot do. Cannot mention price. Cannot reference the lawsuit. Cannot use a real customer's name. One wall written plainly. Walls are not preferences. Preferences belong in comments. The wall is the line that, if crossed, makes the asset unusable. One verb. One wall. Most enterprise briefs at this point are still on page 1 of 14. Field 4 is the hardest because it's a public commitment. The hard date when the asset goes live, not end of Q2, not ASAP. A calendar date with a channel attached. Live on the homepage by Friday the 17th. Now the creative can plan backwards. The reviewer knows when their window is, and the stakeholder cannot move it without renegotiating in front of the room. Then comes the discipline. The moment someone tries to add a fifth field, the answer is the same. Add it as a comment. Not no. Comment. Comments are read. Comments help. Comments are optional. Fields are binding. Hold that line for 3 briefs in a row and the bloat dies on its own. Nobody fights for a fifth field once they learn it isn't actually binding. You can deploy this in 1 week. Day 1. Open your last 6 briefs and red pen everything that isn't one of the 4 fields. Notice how much was filler. Day 2. Write the new 1-page brief template. 4 fields up top, comment section underneath. Day 3. Pick a single brief in flight and rewrite it onto the new template. Show it to the creative team. Watch how fast they answer the questions they used to ask in kickoff. Day 4. Use the new template for every new brief that opens. Day 5. Send the team the rule. Anything beyond the 4 fields is a comment. That's it. 5 days. The bloat dies, the kickoffs shrink, and the work starts shipping faster because the page that started it actually did its job. I'm Asher. This was Content is Currency from Table 8. We'll see you next episode.